Hall. We're going to get going here in a minute.
Siobhan.
Yes. Yeah, Keith, you're there okay, aren't you?
Okay.
Okay, Carja, welcome to this annual general meeting of the Noma District Council on the 1st of June. Keith, can you just mute your mic there, please?
Well,
Thank you. First of all, just straight onto the agenda. Before I do that, just there's no press or public present here tonight, but we are live on YouTube, so I think that's a first for the council. So I'm just going to take apologies. So I'll go to group leaders first. Just bear with me.
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair. No apologies from me.
Okay, Gurmagat. Victor.
No apologies here either, Chair.
Okay, Gurmagat, thank you. Mary.
No, we're okay there. Just I think someone's coming on. Adam just getting logged on there now, but no apologies, Chair.
Okay, and Errol.
No apologies, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, and do we have any other apologies?
Sorry, Siobhan, I've just got a few messages that people can't get in.
Okay, James, are you on that? Who is it, Paddy?
Councillor Catherine Quinn and Councillor Anne-Marie Fitzgerald.
Catherine.
Sorry.
Catherine Kelly and Anne-Marie Fitzgerald. James is working on it here.
Thank you.
Okay, cute. Okay, and do we need to do a roll call then of the participants, or are we okay? Have we got everyone else?
I think, Chair, based on that, we will accept that. And looking at the list, we appear to have full attendance, bar those two members who are seeking to come in, and that will be facilitated. So I think we're okay without doing the roll call, Chair, if you're content.
That's great. Okay, brilliant. Okay, on to item 2 then. Any declarations of interest? If anybody has, can they just raise their hand, please? Oh, none raised there. Okay, thank you. So on to item 3. I hope you're all sitting comfortably. This is my outgoing address. A lot has happened in this year, but I'll make it as brief as I can given the circumstances. So Ho Chorleori, Ifigi na Chorlia, Tugan Crinu, Blaine Tulniha, and Shanstu Macnu and Ayanu, Arekli na Chorlia, Le Blaine Anuas, August Eichentus, a Horch do Chorleori, August Ifigi na Chorlia, as a Hodging Crew, August a Duchrak de Hog, and Irichinek de Concrecha. Fellow councillors, officers of the council, tonight's annual general meeting affords me the opportunity to reflect on the achievements of the council over the past year and pay tribute to the councillors and officers of the council for their hard work and dedication that brought so many achievements to fruition. This is a historic meeting. It's my premiere on YouTube tonight, and I believe it's the first time that we've ever had a virtual AGM. So I've been thinking about this address tonight and how I could express in words to you all what a year I've had as chair of Fermanagh and Omagh District Council. There are so many highlights, and there have certainly been some challenges. Over the course of the past year, I've been extremely fortunate to meet some wonderful people and visit every corner of our district and beyond. It's no surprise to anybody here that when I was elected to council to serve the people of our north just over a year ago, I didn't expect to become the first citizen in my first year as a councillor. I think everybody knows that. But I want to thank my party for having faith in me to do this job. It was an honour to be nominated and become chair, and it's been a privilege to represent you, the members of the council, as well as the people district as first citizen. Neither I nor indeed any of us could have envisaged the difficulties we would face, particularly those unprecedented challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic over the last 3 months. So I've very much been learning the role of councillor as well as the role of chair in what has certainly been a baptism of fire. In learning those roles, it became apparent to me that many people in our district do not actually realise the extent of the work that the council does outside of waste collection and the erroneous notion that the council is responsible for roads, and we all deal with plenty of that. It was important to me that the people of our district got some insight into the great work that the council does in our district, and I think that's an important role for the chair to highlight. From support offered to our community and to our businesses, to work with regards to the environment, to advocational work on behalf of our district, both at home and overseas. I'm so pleased that coming into this new decade, we introduced corporate pages for the chair on social media platforms. I look forward to those being developed further in the future. They've only been up and going since January, but they already have a sizable following. When I was elected to chair last year, there were 4 other themes which I wished to particularly focus on over the duration of my year in office: women in politics, the workplace, and as community leaders, tourism, the environment, and the promotion of the Irish language, all things that I am very passionate about. And over the course of the last year, I've done my best to develop those themes. In terms of empowering women, be that politically, in the workplace or in the community, I was delighted to find that the Vice Chair, Diana, shared my desire to highlight this. It's so important, first of all, that there are women here and in positions of responsibility to empower other women and to show women that it can be done. But secondly, to work to remove the barriers that make it more difficult for women to take part in the workplace, in education and training, such as a lack of affordable childcare, which doesn't just create a barrier to women, but to low-income working families too. So I was very pleased that we had 2 women leading the council this year, and I think that sent out a positive message. I think I can speak for Diana just briefly. She'll want to speak for herself. But we've thoroughly enjoyed the year and our time as chair and vice chair, and I hope that we've played our part in enhancing the role of women in government during our term of office. As a council, as an organisation, we're doing well in terms of gender balance to do and get more women into the chamber. But again, I think that's about realising what the barriers are and working to remove them. Women want to take part. It was important to me at the outset that we also ran some events around empowering women. I had the privilege of hosting, actually Diana and I co-hosted and spoke as well at 2 excellent events: Finding Your Voice in Local Government and Energising Women, both of which were organised by our council for women, and it was tremendously encouraging to see the turnout at both events and to have the opportunity to talk to the many wonderful and inspiring women working in this organisation, and as well as women who are working and leading our communities, often as volunteers, and women who are entrepreneurs in our district. As well as those events, I had the privilege to speak at several other women's events throughout the year. And I hope that by telling my story, I have managed to inspire and empower other women. It's certainly something that inspires and empowers me. And I'd just also like to say that I'm so grateful to those women. Some of them have even been sending me messages today, you know, the support from other women has been very humbling for me and very touching. Some of you might also remember that I've made a few references to the label of chair in meetings, and whilst I suspect that Councillor Bard may have been being mischievous at times, at least I hope you can tell the difference by calling me chairman. And whilst I recognise that Councillor Thompson, who always referred to me as Madam Chair, and I know it was done with respect, Councillor Thompson, I just don't think there is any place for gender allocation to this role any more than there is to postmen, bin men, or indeed the label male nurse. And they're not accepted anymore. Now, I prefer Cathaoirleach to chair, but regardless of who's in the role, I feel strongly that chair or chairperson is sufficient in whatever language you choose to use, both here in the chamber and in our documentation. It's a very small but important step in normalising this role, this as a role for women. In terms of other themes I wish to highlight during the year, I believe that tourism and the environment, particularly for us here in the Fermanagh and Omagh district, are inextricably linked. We have a wonderful tourism product in our district, and the council, through its continuous support for the sector, recognises its huge importance to the local economy. Our district boasts some of the finest waterways in Ireland, with Lough Erne, the island's fourth largest lake, attracting large numbers of visitors annually. The district has also got two of the best known visitor attractions in the country, with the Ulster American Folk Park and the Marble Arch Caves UNESCO Global Geopark, over 40 mapped and graded walks and one of the most scenic landscapes in the country. And of course, my colleagues in West Tyrone would not let any of us forget the stunning sperrins, of which we are lucky to have a share of in our district. I'm proud of our outstanding environment, which is also critical to our local economy. There are undoubtedly tough times ahead for tourism and the tourism industry in our district. COVID-19 has had a devastating impact on the tourism and hospitality sector, not only locally, but worldwide also. For tourism to be successful, it must be sustainable, and we are so fortunate that the core of our tourism product is the stunning natural beauty of our landscapes and our waterways. Protecting our environment and making it sustainable must be at the heart of any future plan for recovery of tourism industry in our district, and it's incumbent on us to ensure that the environment which we cherish and about which I'm so passionate is maintained for locals and visitors alike to enjoy. It's in this context that it was fitting that one of my last official engagements as chair of the council took me to the stunning Marble Arch Caves, which last week, just on Friday there, celebrated the 35th anniversary of its opening. Granted, we weren't marking the occasion in the way we would have wanted, but in marking it, the amazing landscape, the geology of the area, and the incredibly important biodiversity really underlies to us the importance of protecting our environment. We are so blessed here. Sustainable tourism and indeed our fantastic agri-food industry is our bread and butter industry, and it is built on our stunning natural environment, so we must take care to protect and preserve our environment to support the important sustainable tourism and agriculture economy, and also for the health and well-being of the people of our district. I'm coming from an environmental background myself. I'm well aware that action on the environment in general in society is overdue. It's often a footnote, and I wanted to promote the idea that we all have our part to play. No part is too great or too small. Over the past year, our council has formally recognised that we are in a climate emergency. We've set up the Climate Change Resilience Group, which I'm proud to be a part of. And we also have two reps who sit on the regional cross-party group on climate change, and I'm glad to be one of those. We'll have challenges ahead, and we have a lot of work to do together. There have also been several activities going on throughout the year and several accolades which our council has achieved in terms of our beautiful open spaces, and I really want to thank our environment and Place Directorate and our Parks and Open Spaces teams in particular work incredibly hard to keep our district not only looking well, but to maintain and indeed actively try to increase habitat availability to a range of species. Our biodiversity officers do incredible work with all sorts of groups, from school children to those more senior in years. It had been my intention to really concentrate on environmental initiatives this spring. It was curtailed somewhat due to the health pandemic, but the innovation and the desire to want to continue the work both by our biodiversity officers has seen the launch of backyard biodiversity and seen up to and maybe more now than 5,000 pollinator seed packs going out across the district, provide new food sources for our precious pollinators, and that is something that I'm incredibly proud to be associated with. I also loved attending local schools on your behalf as part of the Trees for Bees initiative, which saw winning students earn native fruit trees for their schools. And I understand there is a paper on the All Ireland Pollinator Plan coming to our Environmental Committee Wednesday evening. It's just been delayed due to COVID-19, but it's coming on Wednesday, and I really hope that everybody here will support that. It's a great scheme. The final theme of mine was the promotion of the Irish language. As a student of the language myself, and indeed like countless students across the district, I'm anxiously awaiting my exam results. And as a member of the Irish speaking community, I would like to see and hear the language more. I'm so pleased that we have council agreement on fit and launch events for Seach na Gaeilge in our district going forward. And I feel strongly that these shouldn't be just marketed or aimed at those people who are taking classes in our district, but a wide audience by covering a variety of themes through the medium of Irish or bilingual that appeal to everybody. We had good launch events this year, and I hope we build on those in the coming years to really appeal to young people who are being taught through the medium of Irish, to people with an interest in our history and folklore, and people with an interest in music as well. Through the week, or Seach na Gaeilge has now become Cockish na Gaeilge, maybe a fortnight, there was a great variety on offer to partake in. Unfortunately, the coronavirus impacted on the delivery of some of the programme for the event, but those events that did go ahead were successful, and I was really delighted to launch a careers for young people who wish to pursue a career through the medium of Irish too, and I was really pleasantly surprised by the large numbers of young people and indeed organisations attending, and the young people excited about this as an option for them for their future. Over the past year, Fermanagh and Omagh District Council has striven to deliver its objective of making the district a great place to live, work and visit by delivering high quality services, offering value for money. The Council has continued to develop its suite of business support programmes and initiatives and is clearly demonstrating its commitment to support the development and growth of the small business sector across the district. This support is necessary now more than ever as we prepare for a return to what will be the new normal for business. Innovative ways of delivering services will have to be found. The Council continues to develop its event programme. The Halloween and Christmas lights, which are ever popular. Huge crowds turned out both in Enniskillen and Omagh for those, and the Christmas lights switch on a bitterly cold night, but great crowds. Sadly, the St Patrick's Day parades in both Enniskillen and Omagh were two of the first events to fall victim to the dangers posed by the coronavirus pandemic. The cancellation of the parades was undoubtedly disappointing for those who put so much effort into the organisation of the events, both in Omagh and Enniskillen, and to the many of thousands of people who were eagerly looking forward to attending. But I believe then, and I believe now, it was the right decision. But I'm confident that they will return and hopefully bigger and better than before when the time is right. Our council has also continued to support those seeking to get back into employment, and the success of the Aspire programme right across the district is a source of great pride and satisfaction. Our council has also continued to work in partnership with other key stakeholders across the voluntary, statutory and business sectors through the community plan to develop programmes and initiatives which improve the quality of life of the people of the district. The success of the Positive Ageing Month initiative provided tangible proof that this approach really works. Working in partnership with the Western Health and Social Care Trust, Southwest Age Partnership and the Public Health Agency, the uptake on this programme was remarkable. As with many of my predecessors over the years, the range of receptions hosted and functions and events attended have elicited a range of emotions. As chair, I had the opportunity to host receptions honouring a wide range of groups and individuals who have performed with distinction and have been excellent ambassadors for this district. I was honoured to host this council's first civic reception in honour of Irvinstown-born Frank Ormsby, Ireland Professor of Poetry, which was a great privilege. I've also had the pleasure of welcoming distinguished visitors to the district and accompanying them to facilities and venues across the district, which showcase not only our own council facilities, but business and educational centres too. However, the last 3 months have undoubtedly tested the council as a corporate body and also the resilience of our staff at all levels. Sadly, it also meant that many planned civic events, and I mentioned the St Patrick's Day large events, and church receptions had to be cancelled. And hope that those groups and individuals will have their achievements recognised at future events. I'd like to give a special word of thanks to Enniskillen Sarcoidosis Group, who were my chosen charity this year, which, despite the name, do fantastic work throughout Ireland in supporting those affected by the disease. They were also one of the first groups affected by the COVID-19 restrictions. We had to cancel an event, and I hope that we manage to provide that for them in the future. I'll have a word with the new chair maybe. The COVID-19 pandemic has presented us with challenges which have been totally unprecedented in our lifetime. It's impacted significantly on service delivery to the extent that our income generating facilities have all had to close. And we have concentrated on the delivery of our critical services such as refuse collection and registration, and of course our community COVID-19 response. That's not to say that our other functions have been ignored, but our resources have been directed towards where they are most needed. Many staff have been redeployed to support critical services, and I want to thank them again for that support. More than 300 have been facilitated to work from home, and in the last few weeks, over 200 staff have been placed on furlough. It's often said the greatest resource of any organisation is its staff, and this is certainly true of Fermanagh and Omagh District Council. We as elected representatives are extremely fortunate to have such a committed and professional workforce who provide such an excellent service both to us and to the people of the district. This has been particularly evident over the last 3 months, and I am immensely proud of the way that our staff have reacted to the challenges which have been posed by this COVID-19 pandemic. I don't think any of us could have imagined how our whole society, work and life could change so quickly over such a short period of time. The team spirit, so obvious throughout Fermanagh and Omagh District Council, has never been more tested nor more evident. The positive can-do attitude and enthusiasm across the staff to support delivery of our critical services and the wider community response has been both heartening and humbling. I greatly appreciate the cooperation of our whole staff team during these challenging times, who through their efforts and willingness have enabled our services to continue with minimal disruption. I believe that what we have learned as an organisation throughout this time will put us on a very strong footing for the future and new challenges which arise. The response by organisations and individuals across the community has been absolutely immense. We have witnessed the best of humankind in the most difficult of circumstances. It's highly appropriate that at the start of Volunteer Week that I publicly thank and pay tribute to the thousands of volunteers who have made such a huge contribution in the midst of this pandemic. Gur míle mágah go léir. Thank you all so much. I'd also like to offer my heartfelt thanks to the residents of the district who, by their actions, ensured that the NHS was able to cope with the medical challenges posed by COVID-19 without being overrun. I've no doubt that your actions played a huge part in the relatively low infection and mortality rate in our district to date. It has literally saved lives, so thank you. But we must remain vigilant and continue to follow the advice. It is not the time to become complacent. I'd like to offer heartfelt condolences on my own behalf and on behalf of the Council to families in the district who have lost loved ones to the coronavirus and indeed to other causes, and who, because of the restrictions, could not say goodbye to their loved ones in a manner which they would have wished. Rest assured, our thoughts and our prayers are with you all at this difficult time. I would like to place on record my appreciation to the staff for the courtesy shown to me as Chair of the Council and for their assistance and advice over the last 12 months. In particular, I'd like to thank the directors for their professionalism, wisdom and leadership, and also the Democratic Services team, the Head of Democratic and Customer Services, Sonia McAnola, for the excellent support which they offer, not only to the offices of the Chair and the Vice Chair, but to all councillors. I wish to personally thank Leanne Little, who has been a huge support to me throughout the year. I really can't thank her or praise her enough. Her incredible work ethic, attention to detail, and just keeping me on the straight and narrow throughout the year is very much appreciated, and I'm sure not always an easy job. I also want to thank Peter Donaghy, Tracy Hunter, Claire Evering, and our communications team for the huge help in preparing speeches and material for press releases and our social media throughout the year, which has stepped up. So thank you all. This year we've seen a great deal of change at the top of our council, and I must pay a tribute to Brendan Hegarty, who retired as Chief Executive during this year. I want to thank him again on your behalf and personally for his hard work, dedication and leadership of this new council. Robert Gibson also retired this year. His final weeks somewhat overshadowed by COVID-19, and many have had the opportunity to say a personal goodbye to him because of this crisis hitting. But I really want to thank him again for the wonderful work that he did in his role that made such a difference to the lives of the people of our district. I understand that this is also Kevin O'Gara's final month as Director for Environment and Place before he hangs up his hard hat. So Kevin, I'm not sure if you're on, but can I thank you so much, both personally and on behalf of the council, for the work that you've done for our district. And I would also like to particularly thank Celine McCartan, who has been a great support to me and indeed the Vice Chair in making many of the initiatives we wanted to achieve a reality, particularly but not limited to the women's event. So thank you, Celine. We've seen new directors coming into roles this year, Kim McLaughlin and John Boyle, and you've certainly had your own baptism of fire and have been doing an amazing job, particularly under the current circumstances. So I wish you both the very best as you continue in these roles. And of course, we also have a new Chief Executive. The calm head and quiet confidence, assertiveness and decisiveness of Alison McCullough is a great asset to us and to our council. She has also come into her role at a very challenging time, but her ability to traverse these challenges and the manner in which she does so is something that I really admire. She's been a great support to me personally, and I've enjoyed our conversations, albeit in difficult times, on our daily update calls prior to the re-establishment of our meetings. Indeed, despite Alison's incredibly busy role, she has always made herself available day or night. And that's something I know I appreciate, and I'm sure we all appreciate, although I wish she took a little bit more time off. But thank you. Thank you, Alison. I look forward to continuing to work with you, albeit in a different capacity. I'd also like to thank the members of the press. We're living in a time where social media is dominating as a source for news. There are, of course, some benefits to that, but it can also mean that some news is unsubstantiated, and some of it is it's more commentary than journalism, if you like. Journalists in traditional print, audio, and visual media face huge challenges to bring us the news. Our local papers, in particular, and those our local stories and issues provide a vital service to our communities. Thank you to those journalists who put time and effort into accurately telling the news, to challenging where necessary, and to giving the space to our local people to illustrate the fabric of life in our district. When I accepted the role of chair of the council, I undertook to act as first citizen for the people of all the people of the district, and I've tried to uphold that undertaking to the best of my ability. I'd like to pay tribute to the outgoing Vice Chair, Diana Armstrong, who over the course of the past year has been an excellent ambassador for the district. Diana has been an incredibly capable deputy and has carried out her engagements both on my behalf and indeed in her own right as Vice Chair of the Council with great dignity and professionalism, a lot of glamour, and indeed a couple of times at very short notice. Thank you, Diana, for all your hard work and support throughout the year. I very much appreciate it. I know that you have also enjoyed the challenges posed by the role of Vice Chair in your year in office, but I'll let you speak on those yourself. I'd also like to extend my sincere gratitude to you all, my fellow councillors, for the courtesy and support you've shown not only to me personally, but also to the office of the Chair of the Council during this past term. As I've already alluded to undertake the role of Chair of the Council and first citizen of the district is a tremendous honour, and your support has enabled me to carry out my role to the best of my ability. Where we do certainly have our differences, I feel that where there is commonality, our determination to work together to do what is in the best interests of the people of the district is very clearly visible, and that's what really matters. We do what we do for the people of this district, and I think we do it well together. The effects of COVID-19, both on the people and on the economy, will be felt for many years to come. It's difficult to predict the future with any great certainty, but it would be fair to say that there are difficult times ahead and tough decisions to be made. As we look to the future and the first seeds of the easing of restrictions, it's clear that what we previously regarded as normal is no longer the case. The new normal is constantly evolving. Fermanagh and Omagh District Council will have a key role to play, not only on the recovery plan for our own services, but for the wider district also. So finally, you'll all be happy to hear, to the incoming Chair and Vice Chair, can I offer you my best wishes and support for the year ahead, and may you find your term to be as enjoyable and fulfilling as I have done. Gur míle mága Facardia. Thank you. I know there's a couple of people indicating to come in here, Acardia, but just to facilitate the way this meeting moves this evening, I'm just going to move on to item 4, and then if there are any comments, we'll take them after those. Okay, so item 4 on the agenda, Diana might like to say a few words.
We're back on air.
You're in.
Thank you, Chair, fellow councillors, Chief Executive. Thank you, Chair, for your kind words regarding my role and support of you as Vice Chair. I'll keep this brief because I know we have we're all digesting a very comprehensive report of your year, Siobhan, and I congratulate you on the completion of an extremely busy year as Chair of Fermanagh and Omagh District Council, and thank you also for your support and cooperation throughout the year. You've covered a lot of issues that we've worked on jointly, and supporting women particularly has been one of those, and I know there's a lot more work being done in the district to follow, and that we will be supporting that from the backbenches. In particular, I'd like to thank you for your input to the corporate page on Facebook, the Chair's Facebook page, which has really reached out and allowed the district to see the work of the council, and I think to demonstrate the breadth of what we do at a community level, and it has been so well received and a really positive means of messaging the work of the Chair and the Vice Chair. So thank you for spearheading this. And I hope you can now enjoy a less hectic pace and have a little more time to yourself, Siobhan. So thank you for all you've done. It has been a pleasure to work with you throughout the year. And as a light-hearted aside, in June 2019, we started out our roles as Chair and Vice Chair with a male Chief Executive, and you've already alluded to Brendan and how we enjoyed working with him. We had a male Chief Executive and 2 women in the top roles, but evidently Brendan couldn't handle us. So now we've replaced him with a female Chief Executive who has clearly shown she can handle everything that is thrown at her by the 2 of us. So thank you, Alison, for so ably leading Council through a time of significant challenge. During the past year as Vice Chair, I've had the honour of representing the Council at many cultural, community and sporting events. It has been a huge privilege to see the breadth of endeavour and achievement across our district from all ages, and to witness the valuable community work being undertaken by willing and enthusiastic volunteers. This year will be remembered for the seismic events which unfolded with the global pandemic in early spring. I would like to congratulate our Chief Executive and her senior management team for the swift actions they implemented to provide vital support in the form of the emergency grant aid to our community, and for maintaining frontline and essential services in the district. So much work went on behind the scenes in this, and really huge congratulations go to all fellow workers within the Council who all came to the fore at this time. This work is ongoing. Times have changed, and we will be relying on each other more as a community to support each other. I would also like to thank the team at Democratic Services that Siobhan has mentioned for the support they provide in organising attendances at the many engagements throughout the district and beyond. To Sonia, to Peter, to Leanne, thank you so much for ensuring preparation for each event and that we were so well briefed. This was a real demonstration of professionalism by the Council. When we attended meetings, we knew who we were meeting, we knew exactly what the subject was, and it came across very well for the Council to be so well represented. And I would endorse everything that Siobhan has said. I was going to call you the Chair. Siobhan has said, with the support from the team at Democratic Services and Leanne's unfailing support too, so thank you so much. I'd like to finally just congratulate the incoming Chair and Vice Chair on their appointments and wish them every success in their roles. I do hope they find the roles as fulfilling as I have done in the last year, and wish them every success. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Diana. Okay, we've got some people looking to come in. So Collier McCann, Stephen.
Thank you, Chair. Well, what a year you've had. You know, and on behalf of the Sinn Féin grouping, I just want to congratulate you on a really outstanding year as Carly, or Chair of the Council. From coming into the Council back as a new councillor just 12 months ago, it seems now a lifetime, but just 12 months ago, you came into the Chamber as a new councillor and you embraced the challenges that the role brought, and you made that role as Chair your own. Your leadership skills really came to fore in recent times, I believe, with the onset of the whole COVID-19 and coronavirus. And I believe that Fermanagh and Omagh District Council was very lucky to have you at the helm during these unprecedented times. You've done yourself, Siobhan, your family and your party proud. And on behalf of Sinn Féin, I just want to thank you for all your hard work and all your dedication and sacrifices during the past year. You've been an excellent ambassador for the district. So my huge one, really, really well done. Just to Deanna, I want to congratulate Deanna as well on a great year in office, the outgoing vice chair. I think Siobhan and yourself, Deanna, made a really formidable duo, and you've already set the template very, very high for the incoming chair and vice chair. So well done to you both, and wish you both well in the time ahead. I also want to take the opportunity, Chair, just to congratulate the incoming chair and vice chair. They've no doubt a big role in their hands in the time ahead, and I wish them all the best. Okay, Cormac.
Gurmil Mogget, Stevie, Collier Donnelly, Stephen Donnelly.
Thank you, Chair. And before I start, I would just like to echo your well said comments that at this time our thoughts are with the loved one, those in the district who have lost loved ones over the last number of weeks and months. And we continue to work as hard as we can to make sure that we stand up and protect the interests and the health and well-being of citizens in our district at this time. But I do want to pay a rich tribute to yourself and to Councillor Armstrong for the exemplary way in which you have carried out the role of chair and vice chair over the last year. You and I were both elected at the same time last year, and becoming a new councillor is a pretty steep learning curve, but to do that and at the same time become the chair is quite something. And I want to say that it's probably fair to say that your entry has ended up being a little bit more challenging than you probably expected it was going to be whenever you took up this role. But I think it's fair to say that you have taken it in your stride, and I have really appreciated working with you in the context of the group leaders meetings, dealing with some really big challenges and problems on behalf of the citizens in our district. And I would also just like to say, from the perspective of being an Alliance Party councillor, last year marked the first time that the Alliance Party was represented on this council, and it coincided with a number of new voices coming to the council and a number of new parties. And any incoming chair at that time was going to have to deal with a new emerging political pluralism, and that was going to be a challenge. And I want to say that I very much appreciate the fact that you did so with fairness, impartiality, and with integrity, and I very much appreciate that. So just wanted to pay tribute to the great work that you have done over the last year, and Gurmaya good, look.
Gurmil Mogget, Stephen, Collier Donnelly, thank you very much for those comments. Thank you. Councillor Warrington.
Thank you, Siobhan. Well, I think it's fair to say that you probably hit the nail on the head there before you in your outgoing speech. We are from very different political backgrounds, but in saying that, I would like to thank you for the work that you've done for everyone in the council area throughout the year. You certainly had a difficult year at the end of it, because from March, our county and our district and the whole world basically has been thrown into turmoil with this coronavirus, and has left it very difficult. But you know, the bottom line is both yourself and obviously I include the vice chair in this. You've worked hard, you've attended well until basically the wheels came off back in March, and obviously that ended the year very short and difficult for yourselves. But well done for everything throughout the year, and just like to continue and wish the new incoming chair and vice chair all the best coming in again at this difficult time into our council district. But hopefully we're come out of what we're in sooner rather than later, although it's going to be very different. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Warrington. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Collier Dean.
Well, thank you, Siobhan. At the outset, I just want to say that Fermanagh and Omagh District Council owe you a great depth for the way in which you have led this council over the past year, and in particular in the way in which you have risen to the challenges presented to us by COVID-19. And the fact that we were the first council, I believe, to conduct a virtual council meeting and subsequent meeting, I think attests to the determination that you to us. So I think, Chair, that you have carried out your role with great passion, with great determination, with great professionalism, efficiency and competence. And I do think that you have carried out your role very fairly and represented the district very well, despite the fact that you were limited in the last 3 months of your tenure. Your 4 stated objectives, and I think they are very fine objectives. The role of women in society, politics, workplace, and in the community. I think you and Councillor Armstrong, the Vice Chair, have been very passionate about that. And I think that you have done a wonderful job in promoting the interests of women. You're clearly passionate about the Irish language. I admire you for your skill. Fear for the results of your examination, because if you approach your studies with the same diligence as you have approached your office, I'm sure you'll have no difficulty. And of course, the environment and tourism, that is close to all our hearts. So thank you once again for all your wonderful work, and also to Councillor Armstrong. Thank you, Diana, for I think you have carried out your role admirably, with great dignity, very fair, very measured. And I think both of you ladies in your role complemented each other very well. And of course, backed up by Alison and her team, as always. So thanks once again, Siobhan, and I would look forward to working with you and Diana in the incoming years. Thank you.
Míle mágat, Josephine, thank you. Collier Swift.
Goramagat, Cahirla, and I want to raise a glass of Irish sparkling water to you and say gorgeous and very well done. Here, the speeches were going on, I was nearly running out of water. Cheers to you all, Sláinte, and I just, I'll not repeat what everybody else has said, but I certainly concur with all of the sentiment, and particularly both you ladies were to the fore in supporting women in politics, and myself and Mary Garrity and a few others that I can remember had attended some of the events. The one most memorable in the Arda one, great success, and the promotion was without a doubt fantastic, and everybody enjoyed it, and that was a word that you'd used yourself. I think secondly, Siobhan, but for me it comes again at a very high level and on a par with the promotion of the women in politics, is your promotion of the Irish language. And you've delivered that on every possible conceivable platform. And as Josephine says, I don't think you have any fear with results, and good luck with that anyway. And you deserve most certainly to do well, because you certainly, the way you speak it is wonderful. So good luck with that, add more art. And Diana, without a doubt, you played your role very well. The two of you were a wonderful cocktail, like gin and tonic, powers and water, whatever your tipple is. And until we actually get to celebrate properly again, I want to say very well done. Finally, Siobhan, on the biodiversity and the environmental, there were two key things. I'm passionate about those two. And of course, with the environment, we have the big issues that are still facing us, fracking and the issue of gold mining, of which we remain firm and fixed on opposing any of those adverse environmental impacts to our super council area. So enjoy now joining the elites on the back bench, where there's less, but the work, believe you me, is still as much as what you've been doing in chair and vice chair. So look forward to seeing you on the back bench, ladies, and very well done. Goramagat.
Goramagat, Bernice, thank you. Councillor Thompson, Errol.
Well, thank you, Chair. I know you picked up earlier on that I was always very formal with you, and called you Madam Vice Chair. I've done that this last 10 years that I've been on council, so I don't think I'm going to change anytime soon. But I would just like to, obviously elaborate on the thing about us being from different backgrounds, certainly different backgrounds, different styles, but with regard to your year in chair, I want to congratulate you. You've done very, very well and as leader of our council over the last year. And with, in particular, as others have mentioned, with regard to this is a particularly challenging time for us as councillors, and obviously the chair and the vice chair as well as our chief executive, our directors and our officers. So it's a very, very challenging time, but we have to get on with it. And we look forward to the day that we come out of this on the other side. I can also thank the vice chair, Councillor Diane Armstrong, for all her efforts over the last year. And I know we have served as councillors at a councillor level together over the last term as well. So I just want to wish you both all the very best. And may you, the rest of your service be excellent as you've done, or as the chair and the vice chair over the last period. So thank you, Siobhan, and all the very best. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Errol. I'm going to ask you just to try, though, with the losing the gender out of the title. Just try. Collier Gardaí.
Thank you, Siobhan, and I've made no secret this year. I think I've had a tremendous job that you've done in your year's chair, and huge congratulations to you. You've treated everyone the same, and you've been very professional in your role, and you were definitely through in there at the deep end. I think we might have sneaked the chair this year, only there was some good orchestrating done, and moi hoo to them, I will have to say. But you have been brilliant. I'll not go back. It has been great to see the two ladies in such prominent roles, and I think the lack of controversy and the smooth running of the ship is down to that. At this stage, I suppose I have to acknowledge Diana and her great work. A lovely lady like yourself, and has done tremendous work for this council, representing everybody at all occasions, and is a great example to young women in society, and hopefully many more that will go into politics, which we're all trying to plug. And of course, it's been a big year. We miss Brendan, and a big congratulations obviously to Alison to come in. This has been a tough year with this COVID-19, but we have to deal with it, and deal with it we will collectively as a council group. And I think we are lucky that we have such great councillors in this Fermanagh and Omagh area, and I speak that genuinely. So hopefully going forward we'll get the work done. But enjoy the bit of a break, the sunshine. I don't know if you're allowed to go to the beach or not. We're jury's out on that, but certainly enjoy a bit of a rest if you can. And thank you very much to yourself, Siobhan, and Diana. Thank you very much. Go on by my album.
Gormaget, Mary. Thank you. Councillor Bard. Alec.
Can you hear me okay, Chair?
Yes.
Chair, it's not very often a humble member of the council gets mentioned in the outgoing chair's dispatches. So I thank you for the mention in dispatches and the presumed humour that it was done in, especially with the normal mispronunciation of my name. But just on a point of accuracy, Chair, and you refer to my use of chairman. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the definition of chairman is the person chosen to preside over a meeting. It doesn't mention the gender. So the Oxford English Dictionary would be a fairly well recognised reference. So all I can say is, for your going out, fair fay, chairman.
Okay, Gormaget, fair for you too. Councillor Rainey.
Thank you.
Yes.
And thank you for your role as chair and your summary of events throughout the year. It certainly has been really busy for you. Acted fairly and honourably. I wish you well. Congratulations and every good wish for the future. Likewise to our vice chair, Diana. Well done, Diana. congratulations to you as well, and both of you have a well-earned rest.
Thank you very much, Councillor Rainey. Councillor Erskine.
Sorry, Chair. I just wanted to come in as another woman from our north and just say thank you to you both. Obviously, I was a new female into the chamber as well in my party, so it was great to see two females up at the front, and I wish you both well and every success in the future.
Thank you very much, Councillor Erskine. Thank you all for those lovely comments on behalf of myself and Diana. Very nice to hear. Very, I'm cringing, but thank you all. Thank you. It's been an honour, and I really appreciate the cooperation that we've worked with, and just everybody's good wishes there. So thank you. So we're on to item 5, and that is the nomination of positions of responsibility for year 2. That's this incoming year. So the nomination for chair for this year, and that'll be followed by the signing of the declaration for office. So this is my last duty as the chair, and I'll go to Councillor Warrington. Oh, Alison first.
Yes. Thank you, Chair. Chair, just to summarise for members the process, which is detailed in the papers before you, and maybe just, Chair, briefly before I do, and not to encourage Councillor Swift to go to anything stronger than sparkling water, but just on behalf of the officer team, to thank both yourself and the Vice Chair for your courtesy in dealing with us as a group of officers, as well as the commitment and I suppose the real responsibility that you have shown in taking forward these roles. So thank you both for that basis. And I know from my colleagues' perspective, we look forward to continued working with you now in your backbench capacities. So, Chair, in terms of the nominations to positions of responsibility, in accordance with the protocol agreed at last year's AGM, we'll now be proceeding to fulfil the positions of responsibility for year 2. These are assigned to the respective parties, as has been detailed in the papers, and as you will have seen, there are a number of positions to be filled, and they're at item 5 on the agenda. We'll be proceeding to the party nominating officers of each party under each respective agenda item, and they will then be required to nominate a member of their party who stood in the name of that party at the last local government election to fill the position. And in accordance with Standing Order 22, there's a maximum time limit of 15 minutes for the nominating officer to nominate a party representative to a position of responsibility and for the nominated member to accept the position. So at this point, Chair, we'd proceed now to Councillor Warrington with your approval.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Thank you, Alison. Councillor Warrington.
Thank you, Siobhan. Well, on behalf of the Ulster Unionist Party, I would like to nominate Councillor Chris Smith for the position of chair.
Okay, and are you happy to accept, Councillor Smith?
Yes, very happy to accept. Thank you very much, Chair.
Go gorgeous, congratulations.
So, Chair, if I could ask you now just to sign the declaration of acceptance of office, please. Thank you, Chair.
Everyone expected? Okay. live, yeah. So I believe then the next order of business is to move to the nomination of Vice Chair for the incoming year, and that position is held by the SDLP. And if we now go to Councillor Garrity to make a nomination.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Councillor Smith, and very congratulations on your new role, and best of luck to you, Chris, for it. I'll make this short and sweet. It's my great privilege and honour to nominate Councillor John Coyle, my colleague and great friend, as Vice Chair of Fermanagh District Council. Well done, John, and good luck for the rest of the year. Take care.
Do you, it's a process here, do you have to accept? Are you happy to accept?
It is a great honour and privilege to accept the chair of the role as Vice Chair of the Council.
Chair, the Vice Chair is now just signing again the declaration of acceptance of office.
Thank you, Alison. Okay, so we'll open the floor now to Chris McCaffrey, I think, is indicating. So on you go, Chris.
Gormogad, Carly, and congratulations to yourself, Councillor Smith, as the new chairperson of Fermanagh District Council, and also to Councillor Coyle as well. And also I want to just give congratulations to the outgoing chairperson, vice chairperson in Siobhan and Diana, who I think did a tremendous job last year, and no doubt you'll have big boots to fill. So just on behalf of the Sinn Féin party and on behalf of myself personally, I'd like to wish two gentlemen the very best of luck. Obviously, this AGM is taking place during a difficult position and is taking place at a difficult time, so you are inheriting a massive challenge, but I've no doubt both of you are very capable and will do a tremendous job. Agus is Boilem Ucht, O'Cahar just again of live as Work Apicon. Just want to again congratulate you on your nominations. Gurmila Magov.
Thank you very much, Councillor McCaffrey, for your kind words. We now have Councillor McAleer. Yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, just to send you my best year, Chris. I'd like to take this opportunity to commend you on being, my understanding, at least the first and possibly only chairperson of any council on this island who has actually paid a visit to the Greencastle People's Office. So I'm sure many of my constituents look forward to your ongoing support during your term in office and indeed beyond that. Again, listening to the previous chair's speech on her environmental commitments and her passion for environment, I look forward to working with her on pursuing some of those goals during the coming year as well. So yeah, best of luck, Chris, for the year ahead, and talk to you soon. All right.
Thanks very much, Emma. Next, we've got Councillor Thompson.
Well, thank you, Chair. Many congratulations from a fellow Omagh councillor on your elevation to the chair of Fermanagh District Council. Obviously, I've worked with you in Omagh District Council and over the last term and that last year within Fermanagh and Omagh District Council. So it's good to have a man of your capabilities going forward, and for a youth on your side as well to be the chairman of this council for the year ahead. I also want to take this time and congratulate Councillor John Coyle. I've worked with him over the last term as well on the new Fermanagh District Council, And we've had a good working relationship, and I wish John all the very best for the year ahead as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm probably going to guess that a lot of these comments that are coming in are on the same kind of idea, and it's sort of expected of us to make a speech, and it might be more appropriate for us to make the speeches now and then allow you to come in after them. That might be the more appropriate thing to do. So, I suppose firstly, I appreciate that other councillors have already spoken. Please bear with me, as I'm very new to this, and this is a very different environment that I find myself in from what I used to. It's a great honour to be selected as the Ulster Unionist nomination for chair during these difficult times. I'm relatively sure that I am the youngest member to assume the chair of Fodc, or chairperson, or chairman, or whatever you choose to go by. I'm not overly precious. And I believe that's also true for the old legacy Omagh and Fermanagh councils as well. Over my political journey, I've devoted a lot of time to the development of young people in politics through organisations such as my party's youth branch, and also by working closely with organisations such as the Youth Council to try and encourage young people to take that difficult step and actually get involved in the political process themselves. While my justification for thinking of myself as young kind of diminishes by the day, I'm frequently reminded by my friends that I'm in my late 20s now, not my mid-20s. I do hope that my nomination may go some way to encourage yet more young people to get involved. I'm sure that councillors have seen an increase in their workload over recent months, and that the nature of constituency work has changed considerably. COVID-19 dominates everything, and simple tasks such as acquiring a hearing aid battery or picking up medication have become markedly more difficult for our citizens, especially those citizens who are in possession of a shielding letter and therefore have to self-isolate. I have relied heavily on the goodwill and generosity of some of the people of this district to help me achieve outcomes for my constituents, and I doubt I'm alone in that. So, colleagues, as a result, I think it fitting that I issue a heartfelt thank you to all those who freely give of their time and talent to support their community across the district, and know that I and the council greatly value their efforts alongside the key workers from all the sectors who kept the wheels of society turning. Never before has the role of local government and councillors' role within it been more important, yet so difficult. The business of the council must go on regardless of the pandemic. And a few days ago, as a member of the planning committee, I took part in the first of our planning meetings since the virus struck. These meetings were socially distanced and allowed the committee to clear the backlog of planning decisions which were held in abeyance during the worst of that pandemic. These meetings did not happen by accident, and there was a lot of preparation by officers to facilitate them, and I thank them for it. We've also seen the reopening of some recycling centres and the beginning of some building control inspections across the district, to name but a few examples. It's going to be up to councillors and officers to work together to decide on innovative ways that we can continue to provide essential services while protecting our staff and the public. And I think these decisions are going to be one of the most important decisions that councillors have made in a very, very long time. I want to put on record a special thanks to the council staff who have kept these key services running throughout. And for those who are moving on, and have already been mentioned by name, I want to wish them all the best. I'm afraid I don't have a crystal ball that will tell me how things are going to play out in the coming months. I do think, however, that it will depend on a number of factors, including public adherence to social distancing regulations and the extent to which we as a society can suppress the R number of the rate of infection, to avoid as many deaths as we can, each of them a tragedy in themselves. The people of Fodc have by and large been exceptionally responsible and sensible, and I think that's one of the reasons why, relative to other parts of Northern Ireland, our numbers of cases and deaths are lower. All I can urge people to do is to continue to adhere to the social distancing regulations and not let their guard down. If we can continue to suppress the virus's spread, we will emerge from this crisis with fewer deaths and quicker than if we have a disastrous second surge, which I pray simply won't happen. Furthermore, I work as a psychology lecturer at Ulster University, and that time is coming to an end. And I think that government, both local and central, will have a huge part to play in addressing the mental health impacts of COVID-19, which will have in terms of isolation and other associated mental health conditions. When the situation permits, I want to use this position to highlight the Council's wellbeing initiatives. The Council will also have a scrutiny role through the community plan in monitoring and scrutinising other departments to this and other related issues. I also intend to make a number of donations in a private capacity to mental health causes, which operate in the district as a way of putting my money where my mouth is in this issue, which I feel extremely passionate about. In relation to the previous chair, I think it goes without saying that the political differences between my party and hers remain. That said, I don't think this is the time to dwell on them. I think the comments of your colleagues from across the political spectrum speak volumes of your performance in this role. However, I do think that there are a few points of note that deserve particular mention. The chair adapted to the changed and very challenging nature of the role that she found herself in. Her use of social media to continue to represent the council and to provide updates has to be commended. And it's probably something that I'm going to attempt to emulate as well. I also think that the change in the way the council does business has placed an onus on the chairperson to adapt with it, which she did. And the chairing of meetings electronically was a big change, especially from some of the councillors who weren't particularly tech savvy. And I do think the previous chair has been extremely accommodating to those councillors who struggled at first with the format of the meetings. The vice chair of the council is a good friend, and therefore it would be very difficult for me to be objective in my in my comments towards her. However, Diana, you have always been an excellent sounding board for any of the issues that I struggled with, and I thank you for it. Clearly, my time as chairman will be less public than my predecessors and be curtailed by the COVID-19 pandemic. I won't be able to meet as many people as I would have liked to, and the previous chair did mention that that was probably the bit that she enjoyed the most. That said, the position is a responsibility that I am ready to take on, and I can only hope that I will be able to do my constituents proud. I'm looking forward to the days when the COVID-19 crisis is over. I don't know when this will be, or even if it will be during my term, but I really hope that we can get to a point where the normal things that we take for granted can be returned to, and I look forward to that day. Thank you very much. Nicole, do you maybe want to say a few words now?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Congratulations on your appointment, and I will endeavour to be your right-hand man for the next 12 months. I'd like to thank my party for the nomination to the position of Vice Chair, and to the people in Erin North that voted for me, because without them I wouldn't be where I am today. Like yourself, mental health is a big issue for me, and we will endeavour to put out our hand to the people that need our help and make sure that they know that we are here to listen to them, to hopefully get the help that they need and deserve. And in the pandemic, which has heightened people's anxieties, the council will work and endeavour to do all we can for them. I also like to, make sure that our businesses and our, communities come out of the pandemic in a stronger position. And I know that the council are doing seminars, to help promote, resilience in our businesses and our communities, and we will be at the forefront of that into the future. So thank you very much.
Councillor Warrington, I understand that you have indicated, and if you'd unmute yourself, you can come in now.
Yes, well, I'm going to be very brief, Chair, as I always am, as you know. I would certainly just like to congratulate you on becoming the youngest chair on Fermanagh and Omagh District Council, probably the youngest chair. Well, I'm not going to say in Northern Ireland, because I know Lindsay was quite young when she took over in Carrickfergus. But anyway, and certainly to your vice chair, Councillor Coyle, both good colleagues to work along with. And Councillor Coyle said one thing there about being your right-hand man. Well, the last time he was your right-hand man, you were in Nottingham celebrating St. Patrick's Day about 2 years ago. And but anyway, the least said about that, the better. But anyway, congratulations to you both. All the best for what's going to be a difficult year to come. And we're all here to help you and support you what we can. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Victor. You wouldn't let me get away in the smoke on that one. Councillor Deehan.
Thank you, Chair, and I just want to add my congratulations on your elevation to the Chair of Fermanagh and Omagh District Council. It's a great honour and a great privilege, but I have worked with you for many years. You're a councillor of good standing, very experienced. And thank you for agreeing to take on this role, which is particularly challenging in terms of the time commitment, the dedication to it, and also the nature of the challenges of the current environment. So I want to thank you for that. I have no doubt that you will do an excellent job. It is good that you have youth on your side, because that will give you a great insight into the needs of our youth and the promotion of their involvement and development in all areas. And after all, our youth are the future of this council area. So you're quite right to prioritise their needs. So I want to wish you all the best for the incoming year, and please be assured of my good wishes and cooperation. With regard to Councillor Coyle, I want to congratulate Councillor Coyle on his elevation to the position of Vice Chair. This is also a very important role. Again, John is a very experienced councillor. He's very fair, hardworking, and I have no doubt that he will carry this enthusiasm and dedication into his role as Vice Chair. So congratulations, Councillor Coyle, and best wishes for the incoming year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So it's been Stephen Donnelly next, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I would just like to come in to congratulate both yourself and Councillor Coyle on the elevation to the positions that you now hold. And I hope that I don't sound too parochial by saying that it is nice to see an Omagh man back into the position of Chair. This council, more than any of its predecessors, I think it's fair to say, is representative of the generation that you and I belong to. And so in that respect, I think that it is appropriate and it is fitting that you do take this position at this time. Although I think that it is quite scary to think that we first met each other whenever we were teenagers, and now we are both in our mid to late 20s. So you have certainly come a long way since we were serving as councillors together at Queen's Students' Union. And you have taken up these responsibilities at an incredibly important time for our district. Both yourself and Councillor Coyle will be facing immense challenges in terms of the preservation of public health, in terms of rebuilding our economy, and in terms of building a new society. And that work is going to be long-standing in terms of the investment that it's going to take, in terms of our energy and in terms of the work of the council. But I have no doubt that you are up to the task, and you will have the support of myself and the rest of the council in undertaking that work. And I want to wish you and John the very best for the future. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Stephen. Councillor Swift.
Paramagata Kehirluck, and congratulations to you and your role. And I wish you the very best of good luck and success. And you have a tough year ahead of you with all of the outlined approaches that we need to take now with the ongoing pandemic and hopefully post. And I would like to wish John the very best of good luck as he ably assists you in your role. You're both looking like airline pilots sitting up there this evening on screen. Aer Lingus, here we come. It mightn't be your chosen travel airline, Chris, but I wish you to fly high as well and take us to great destinations by the end of the year. Alison, I've run out of my sparkling water now at this stage. What do you suggest my next tipple is to be for Chris and John going forward? Anyway, the best of luck to you both.
Thanks very much, Councillor Smith. Councillor Coffey.
Hello. Well, I just want to start by thanking the outgoing chair and vice chair on their successful year, and wish them the best on the backbenches of the rest of us. But in terms of yourself, Chris, and Councillor Coyle, just to wish you the best as being the chair and the vice chair, and I look forward to a productive year ahead, and wish you all the best in terms of representing this council and our people.
Thank you very much, Donald. And finally, Councillor Rennie.
Well done, Chris, and thank you for taking on this challenge. I know your family will be extremely proud of you, and no doubt they will be of tremendous support to you. And just as the chair of the West Tyrone Ulster Unionist Party and myself, I want to say every good wish for the future, Chris, and to the Vice Chair, John. I have known you for a period of time now as well, and certainly you have proved your worth. And I want to say I'm delighted to see you holding down the position of Vice Chair, and I do wish you every good wish and every success in the year that lies ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you want to read anyone else? Really? Councillor McElduff.
Just briefly, Chris, as a fellow Omagh Town councillor, I want to wish you well in your incoming year, 2020, 2021. Very, very challenging, but to wish you all the best in your incoming year as chair of the council. Also, John, congratulations, John, as well, coming in as vice chair of the council. A good kind of Tyrone Fermanagh balance there. And just to put my comments on the record about the outgoing chair and vice chair, I thought they were simply fantastic. They were excellent, excellent leaders and ambassadors. And I hope that you, Chris, and John can develop your own styles and continue to provide that quality of leadership. So thanks very much for taking on the responsibility, and all the best.
Thanks very much, Barry. Much appreciated. Is that us then, yeah? Okay. Well, I think if Alison, you want to...
Yes, thank you, Chair. Our next appointment then is for the Chair of the Environmental Services Committee. This is an SDLP nomination, so just go to Councillor Garrity for that nomination, please, Chair.
Okay, thanks very much, Chris, Chair. And on behalf of the SDLP, I nominate Councillor Garvin McPhillips for the Chair of Environmental Services for this year. Thank you.
Garvin, are you happy enough to accept that role?
Yes, Chair. Absolutely delighted to take on the role of Chair of Environmental Services. Thank you.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you, Chair. The next nomination is for the Chair of the Regeneration and Community Committee, and this is a Sinn Féin nomination, and Councillor Stephen McCann, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair. And can I also just first of all add my voice to the congratulations to yourself and wish you well in your term as Chair, Chris. All the best. And also to Councillor Coyle as well. Well done, lads. In relation to the Chair of Regeneration Committee, or Community Committee, I nominate Councillor Conor Maguire to hold that position on behalf of Sinn Féin for the year ahead.
Mr. Maguire, are you happy to accept that?
Cinnte Ceharlí, I Tom McDougall leis an fósin go ceann bliana. Yes, I'm happy to take on the role for the next year. Thank you, Chair.
Best of luck.
Thank you, Chair. The next nomination is for the Chair of the Policy and Resources Committee, which is also a Sinn Féin nomination, and so Councillor McCann again, please.
Thank you, Chair. I nominate myself for that position, Chair, and just for completeness, I do accept.
Very efficient.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the next nomination is the Chair of the Planning Committee. This is an Ulster Unionist nomination. So, Councillor Warrington again, please, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to nominate Councillor Robert Irvine for the position of Chairman of Planning.
Thank you, Robert. Are you happy to accept that role?
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, happy to accept on behalf of the party, and congratulations to you and John for your forthcoming term in office. Keep the good work up, the both of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Best of luck.
And finally, Chair, it's for the Chair of the Brexit Committee, and this again is an SDLP nomination. So for Councillor Garrity, please.
Councillor Garrity.
Thank you again, Chair. And on behalf of the SDLP, I nominate Councillor Paul Blake for the Brexit Committee. And can I wish Garvin, Tommy, Paul, Robert, and of course Trilix Stevie all the best in their roles this year. Good luck to everyone. Take care.
You happy to accept, Councillor Blake?
Yes, Chair, thank you very much. I do gladly accept this, and I wish yourself and John and Tommy and Garvin and Stevie also the very best for the year ahead. So thank you.
Likewise, Paul.
Thank you, Chair. We move now to the appointment of members to committees. So the first part of this item, Chair, is just that the Council proceeds on a full member basis for the following 4 committees. That's Environmental Services, Regeneration and Community, Policy and Resources, and the Brexit Committee. And if we could have, Chair, please, a proposer and seconder for each of the 4 committees. So we'll take Environmental Services first, please. And just to confirm, we don't require individual members to accept these ones, just the overall. I think you have nominations now, Chair.
Well, I'm going to go by the first 2 indicated. So the first one is Councillor Deehan, please.
Well, I would like to propose that we would go with a 40-member committee for environmental services.
And just a seconder now for environmental services, please, Chair.
Okay, Councillor Warrington.
Chair, I will second that proposal.
Okay, proposal on the table are, does anyone wish to object to that? Okay, I'm going to take that as accepted then. So
thank you, Chair. Next committee is Regeneration and Community. So again, a 40-member basis and a proposer and seconder, please.
Okay. Councillor Thompson, you're up next.
Thank you again, Chairman. It gives me great pleasure to propose that 40 members serve on the Fermanagh Nova District Council Regeneration and Community Committee for the ensuing year.
Councillor Swift.
Second that.
Excellent. Any objections? No. Okay, we'll take that as passed then.
Our third committee, Chair, is Policy and Resources, please. So again, a proposer and seconder.
Councillor Irvine, you're up first.
Sorry, thank you, Chair. Happy to propose a 40-member committee for PNR.
Okay. Councillor Feely.
Congratulations, Chris, on your new role, Chair, and same with Councillor Coyle. When I am in the mic, I just want to congratulate you. And I don't take this the wrong way, but if you do half as good a job as Councillor Coyle done and Councillor Armstrong done, you're doing a great job. But I want to pay my tribute to them as well. And as being the Chair of the Policy and Resources last year, I'd like to propose a full membership and wish all the new chairs the best of luck. Thank you, Chris, and best of luck.
Okay, and
maybe, Chair, just if Councillor Feely's content to second that, as we have a proposer already for PNR.
Yeah, sorry, Alison. Happy to second. Sorry about that. Yes, happy to second.
Everyone happy enough with that? I'm going to take that as passed.
And finally, then, Chair, the Brexit Committee, again proposing for a 40-member committee and a seconder as well, please.
Councillor Catherine Kelly.
First, I'd like to congratulate you, Chris, on your new position, and I'm sure you'll do a great job. I would like to propose a 40-member committee for the Brexit Committee. Very important as the year coming in.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that at all?
Second that, Chris.
There we go, that'll do. Seconded by Councillor Swift. Okay.
Thank you, Chair. The next item now is for the nominations to the Planning Committee, and members will be aware that in the AGM in May of last year, it was agreed to appoint 13 members to the Planning Committee, and in accordance with the agreement to establish the Planning Committee and in accordance with the agreed protocol, the following nominations should be made. So just to summarise, first, Chair, we have 5 members from Sinn Féin, 3 from the Ulster Unionists, 2 from the SDLP, 2 from the Democratic Unionist Party and 1 independent. So firstly to Councillor McCann on behalf of Sinn Féin, please, Chair.
Councillor McCann.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Yeah, we're going to keep it as it is. So Councillors Glenn Campbell, Tommy McGuire, Sean Donnelly, Anthony Feely and Thomas O'Reilly, Chair.
Okay, don't think that needs a seconder, no?
No, that's all, Chair. Thank you.
So if we move now to Victor from the Ulster Unionists.
Thank you, Chair. Well, the Ulster Unionist representatives will be as they were with the Chair, Robert Irvine, with Councillor Rainey and yourself.
We'll move now to the SDLP. Councillor Garrity.
Thank you very much, Chair. And for the Planning Committee, it's business as usual, Councillor John Coyle and myself, Councillor Garrity.
Okay. And if we move now to the DUP, Councillor Thompson. Yeah, Councillor Thompson.
Thank you again, Chair. Same as last year. Myself, Councillor Errol Thompson. Thank you.
Okay. We move now to independence. It's my understanding that Councillor Swift can make a nomination on behalf of the independents.
Yes, I wish to propose Josephine Dane to continue with her professional expertise on the Planning Committee.
Okay. Well, that's it as far as I'm aware, which is all best for the Planning Committee, and I'll see you there next month. We'll move on now to...
Chair, perhaps just before we move to any other business, just to advise members that the Council agreed the list of other appointments to be made by the Council to other bodies at the AGM, and the appointments would be made by agreement. These were for the term of the Council and are therefore not subject to review at AGMs, but a party nominating officer can change nominations to these bodies at any time by informing the Council at its monthly meeting. And a list of those has already been appended to the papers, so that's just for completeness, Chair, and then just on to any other business.
Well, I noticed that Councillor Wilson has a hand up. Something you want to add at this stage?
Can you hear me, Chair?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, congratulations on your elevation to chairman. And I know I had a year in Oma, and when you add Fermanagh onto that, it's going to be a very busy year for you. And for your colleague John Coyle, who will your right hand man, well deserved to both of you, and I wish you both a good year. That's really what I wanted to do. I intended to second some of those others, but anyway, all the best.
Thanks very much, Bert. Okay, so we move on to AOB, and I have been notified of one from Councillor McCann. So, come on at this stage.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. It's just to notify members that I'll be handing over the reins as group leader of the Sinn Féin group to Councillor Barry McElduff, effective from tomorrow. And I just want to say quickly, it was enjoyable to work with other group leaders during the year. It was a great experience, and of course the independents as well. And just to wish Barry all the best as he takes up that role from tomorrow. Thank you, Chair.
With that, I think that's my first meeting done. So unless there's any more... Oh, Councillor Garrity. Councillor Garrity, do you want in, sorry?
Sorry, Chris, just briefly in the back of Stephen there, just to thank Stephen for his work. He was very easy to work with, as all other group leaders will acknowledge, and we look forward to working with Barry, obviously, in the coming year. Thank you, and well done tonight, Chris. Best of luck.
Okay. Is that all indications done? Okay, so I think we can just close the meeting now. So thanks very much for you coming, and I say bear with me because it's all very new. But thanks very much for your kind words, and I close the meeting at 20:35. Thank you.
Congratulations. Bye.
See ya.
All the best, Chris.
Congratulations, Chris.